Alright, welcome to TLT Garage #1 video. I've done this intro video about a dozen times. I just can't get it right, or I can't get it where I feel comfortable with it. So I'm just going to keep it short and simple. This is the #1 video, first video of hopefully a long series on this vehicle you see next to me. And hopefully with many more crazy vehicles to come, some regular, just some good restorations, maybe some crazy body swaps, maybe some retro mods, you know, a little bit. I mean, maybe motorcycles, a lot of stuff. So, all right, let's get started. All right. Like I said, this is my #1 project, or my first project. I should say #1 project, doesn't really make sense. This is a 1963 Ford Econoline pickup. My dad and I have referred to it as EP, Econoline pickup, easier to say, so you'll probably hear me say EP quite a bit. I'm going to repeat myself a lot. I do it all the time. My family, my friends, they're all used to it. That's what I do. So I can't remember what I told you, what I didn't tell you. Anyhow, so this, like I said, this is a 4-window that's been converted to a 5-window. So I got it. Well, I guess I don't really need to say. I'll tell you, I have a video of when my first startup with it. So I'll put that in right here, and then right after that, we'll get started working on it. Sorry for the audio, sorry for the video. It was my first time. So when it starts up, if you have headphones on, be careful. It's going to be a little loud. I'm also going to say stuff that is not quite accurate. I talk about the carburetor uses a vacuum choke, and it doesn't use a vacuum choke. It's got a little heat riser that comes up to it. It's not manual. And it's not electric. It just uses this little heat riser. So you'll hear me say stuff that's a little funky. I'll show you around real quick, and then we'll put that video in here, and then we'll get started on the carburetor. All right, just a second. All right, so here she is. This is my 1963 Ford Econoline pickup. Like I said, I started doing a little bit of paint removal on the side here. I've got a surface conditioner you'll see later on in my other following videos. I found a pretty good sized dent right down there. It looks like he tried to pull it, but wasn't able to do it. So it had a fair amount of Bondo. I'm going to probably try to pull it some more, come up with different ways to repair it. I've got a whole front end nose off of an Econoline over there. What I bought it for was right down here. You can see that it's really rusty and pitty and it needs patched. And then down here, he actually already has cut a piece out. So this piece is good on the nose I got. So I'll have to patch that. So that'll be a new experience for me. I've done a teeny tiny bit of patchwork. But here you can see the inside. I have both seats. They're in the bed. That's the heater core box down there. That's got to be one of the easiest heater cores to access. The electrical is a little not... He started pulling it apart. I'm not really sure what was going on. The headlights work. The front marker lights work. Once I figured something out, now this might be something that a lot of people know, and I may come across as kind of a knucklehead for not knowing, but I'm fairly new to all this stuff. I've never done any of this stuff before. So anyhow, I was messing with this side marker light, and it's supposed to go up inside. It goes right in here. And the bulb looks good. The headlights work, and so I have power. When I have it disconnected here, I can put my my little power probe, the little light probe. Can't think of what the thing's called right now. And it would light up. But then when I would plug it in, the bulb wouldn't work. Well, then it dawned on me, there's 2 wires going in. One wire's for the blinker, one wire's for the marker, side marker light. So the body is the ground. I was thinking there was a ground, so if this is just sitting here on this rubber mat, it's not going to work. So I ran a ground little clip to it, and it came on and it worked fine. So anyhow, that's just a little thing for somebody out there that's starting to work on this kind of stuff and maybe got a project like this where it's already been taken apart and they got to figure out how to put it back together. But anyhow, so this was a 4 window that the guy converted to a 5 window from a wrecked one. And I have all the glass. This door obviously did not come from this. I have multiple doors for it. It does start. I'll do that a little bit later. You'll hear the video of me, the first start, just coming up. I found this too. Unfortunately, it appears that he bondoed over some rust holes. So this, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to maybe get this, try to get the bondo out of there and then be able to patch the holes, or if I'm going to have to just cut this whole piece out and put in a patch panel. I'm hoping I don't have to put in a patch panel, but if that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do. Looks like there's another blister right here and another blister right here. So bodywork's going to be a big deal. Rebuilding these doors is going to be a big deal. I have new anti-rattle kits for it. I have new seals for going around the wing windows here. I've got new felts for all this that go inside, inside the door here that goes all the way down here. This here, I'm not sure. It looks like it's tack welded or it's riveted kind of down in there. You can't really see. I can't really see either. But when I get that out, I'll know better, and you guys will see me rebuild. Rebuilding the doors is probably going to be, well, I don't know if it's going to be one of the hardest things, but it's going to be a more complicated thing. This little weird little light out of the way. So yeah, I've got a bunch of garbage in the back of it, so that'll obviously get all cleaned out. I'm trying to test the wiper motor in this front end works, and I don't have another wiper motor that came with this rig, so it kind of worked out. I paid $100 for this front end piece, this whole nose, and it was actually local, and so I was lucked out on that one. So anyhow, let's get started. I'll put the video in here of me the first starting it up, and then we'll jump right into getting the carburetor swapped out. All right. 6. I'm not sure. I'm learning on these old stuff. I know the 289s and the 302s eras and like 300-inch 6, that kind of stuff. But I believe this is a 144. Really unique creature. Not the engine, the truck. It's basically a COE. Cab over, because you're cab over the engine, because you're sitting right next to the engine. But so it's got a battery in it. I think I'm in neutral. I'll have to try to sit up in here to see if I can push the clutch in. So just make sure I'm in neutral. Oh, look at that! I got a light. Look at that. Fuel gauge is working. Holy cow! It's saying it's got a full tank. I don't know if you can even see that if I'm aiming it. There you go. That's cool. Gen light. None of these are going to work because nothing's hooked up right now. Let's see if it'll crank over. I'll just sit on the old fender well here. Push the clutch in. So I think it's in neutral. So let's see if she turns over. That is awesome. So I got to turn over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to I'll pull a dipstick, make sure it's got oil. Put a little fuel in the carburetor. See if the carburetor's stuck. So you got the little accelerator pump here. flipping this thing around. Looks like the little accelerator pump's not frozen. I'm not expecting much out of it, which is fine. I just need it to start. Carburetors. So it's got electronic choke, or no, it looks like it's got a vacuum choke. Yeah, it's old style. I think. Yeah, it's got a vacuum choke. Just a little one barrel. Nothing spectacular. So it's wanting to choke. So what we're going to do now is we are going to get a little fuel. Well, like I said, first I want to check the oil, make sure it's got oil. If it starts, I'm not going to run it very long. Like Derek would say, I'm not going to check the sparkulators or the distributor just yet. It cranked over really good. It sounded really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little fuel in the carburetor, and well, check the oil, put a little fuel in the carburetor, and just see if it fires. Obviously, if it doesn't fire, then I'll start doing some investigation. But the lady I bought it from, I call her Econoline Ann. She said that their husband drove it home and parked it, and he started converting it from a 4-window to a 5-window, and then he passed. I didn't ask any details, not my business. And they were supposed to be his and hers, and so I purchased them. I love these little Econolines, and I want to do this. So let me check the oil and get a little fuel, and we'll see what happens. All right, pause you here for a second. All right, here we go. Sorry for the pausing and playing. I don't do the photo editing. I mean, I don't do the editing yet. Hopefully, through time, I'll learn how to do that, or I can figure out a way to blend these out so they don't do that. But anyhow, let's put a little fuel in this carburetor and see what happens. It says the fuel tank's full, but obviously, the fuel pump may not work. Fuel pump may work. It may just be that lines are dry. Could be filter. Could be crusty. Anyhow, let's put a little fuel in this little 1-barrel and see what happens. If I can get it in there. It's probably enough if I have spark. Ooh, strong. All right, let's see what happens. Key on, clutch in, crank it over. Whoa! That is crazy. 17 years. Whoops, sliding off this fender well. It's not much of a seat. That's ridiculous. Well, this is a good one for one of my first sitting forever ones. Carburetor. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I can't run it too long because I don't have any fuel. I mean, doesn't have any coolant in it. It's gonna get hot. So that's probably gonna be I'll get back to you once I do some more work on it. That's just the initial start. Let the fun begin. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, I have a little water in it. So what I want to do is I'm just going to see if it'll kind of move. Not for any particular reason other than just the fun of it. I'm not driving it just yet. I have to put some air in the tires. This door over here is just hanging. It's not really, doing anything. I can wire it shut. Got no windshield, got no back windows, got no 5 windows. But if I get it aired up, and it runs decent, I might put it up and down the street a little bit. We got a bit of a hill, so I don't know if it would run well enough to go up the hill. But I just want to see if the gears will engage, if the clutch is actually working. The clutch feels good. It feels like it feels like a clutch. The brakes, they feel like they're there. I'm sitting in a seat for it, but it's not bolted in. It's just sitting here. I just needed something better than sitting on the fender well. Fender well works pretty good because of the COE, but something like my Vice Grip Garage hat. There you go, Derek. Someday maybe I'll have my own hats. We'll see how that goes. Anyhow, let's, okay, so I think with this 3 in the tree, you've got, if I remember right, so if you pull up and go forward, I believe that's reverse? No, let's see. Up and back is first, and then forward and down, or just, that's second, and that's third. See, you probably can't see what I'm doing here. I can't really tell what I'm doing either. So I think up, I think that's first, and then you pull forward and it'll drop down, and that's second. My dad said sometimes second would break and people would go around, they'd punch the A-pillar when they're trying to power shift these things. So all I want is, let's do reverse. I think that's reverse. And then I'm kind of close to my shop here, but anyhow, let's see. I should just fire right up. Look at that. That's just crazy. Crazy, crazy. Okay, so I should be in gear. Let's just let the clutch out a little bit. Looks like I'm not in gear. I'm in neutral, you knucklehead. So, let's see, we think up, forward is reverse. Let's see. Oh, I got the e-brake on. Forgot I got the e-brake on. I got a block down there too, so that'll help. Look at that. That is ridiculous. So that's definitely reverse. Up, back. Should be forward. Yep, it wants to go. That's crazy. Look at that thing just purr like a kid. Purr like a kid. Alright. That's probably it for now. That's pretty cool. I got pretty lucky on my first, there we go. Let's pull the e-brake on. Look at this e-brake down here. Nobody's seen e-brake like this in years. It's straight down. Pull up, and then you just lock it. If you want to take it off, you just see if you can see what you're doing here. What I'm doing here. Yeah, here it is. You just turn it, and it's off. You turn it, pull it hard. There we go. Look at this is the heater control. So there's my heater core. Talking about the easiest heater core in the world to replace. It's just right in the floor. It's in this little box, and then you have the little vents over here. Can you see that? Yeah, kind of bright. Anyway, there we go. There we go. There's a vent there, and then a vent over here, and then I believe there's a vent that'll push it up to these little, to your defroster here. You got this little radio, and that thing cool? That thing's so cool. Hey, it comes on. I think it's supposed to have one speaker in here, but this is just crazy. I cannot believe this. I just want to keep starting it. I want to drive it down the road, put it around. I live kind of in a little bit of a hilly area, so it might be a bit of a risk to putt it around. If I was at my dad's, he lives real flat neighborhood, so that would be okay. But I might try it when he's here, so that way if I get stuck somewhere, he can tow me back. But anyhow, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. So, all right, more to come. And if you guys want to see stuff on my Volkswagens, I can show stuff on the Volkswagens. I don't know if that's as interesting as this stuff is to me. I like old stuff, new stuff. So hopefully what I might end up doing is I might end up blending the two together, do some crazy cool stuff. I've got a Crown Vic. I've got 4 Volkswagens, but most of them are just going to get hopefully finished up and then out of here. I really want to do old school stuff, mostly old Fords. I'm not against Chevy. I'm just kind of a Ford guy. Yeah, that's it. Cool. All right, thanks guys. See you later. Bye. First thing I want to do is I want to replace the carburetor. The carburetor in it now, it's sticky, it's gummy, it's nasty. It's got some nasty old gas going through it. I cheaped out and I bought this Chinese knockoff carburetor. Like I said, I'm new to all this. I've done a lot of little this here and there, but I haven't rebuilt a lot of carburetors. So I just got lazy and I bought the cheap knockoff. The old carburetor, original carburetor, will come with the rigs down the road whenever it gets sold or whatever, if somebody wants to be as original as possible. Yeah, so let me get started on getting this changed out, and I'll be right back. All right. Okay, here's the old carburetor before I pull it off. It's not too complicated. It's got two mounting bolts. The vacuum line for the vacuum advanced, the little heat riser, I'm not sure exactly what you'd call it, but that's what I call it, heat riser off the manifold for the choke, and then disconnect the fuel line, and that's it. It's a hard line all the way up to here, but down below there is another fuel filter down there that I will replace with a clear one so I can see how bad the fuel looks. I don't know if there's a lot of sediment in it, I just think it's just really old and it smells really bad. But I got to get this thing where it runs a little more consistently so I can back it out as I'm working on the body and taking the old paint off. And there's the shop cat. That's Crescent. So, all right, let me get started on this, and I'll come back with you when I've got it off. All right, here they both are. The brand new one, obviously, and the nasty old dirty one. You can see it's all gross, and that's just all old fuel leaking out of it. This is all brand new. I was going to show you something over here I thought was pretty crazy, or I've never seen before. The cooling line comes in and goes past the exhaust manifold where the carburetor sits, and I would assume that's to help it warm up quicker, or it's to warm the fuel. Maybe back in the day they thought it worked better, or what. Put down in the comments if you know what the reason was, if it was just mostly to help it warm up, or if there was some other reason behind that. I could ask my dad, he might know, he's an old timer, he knows a lot of that older stuff. So, but anyhow, it's off now. It was pretty easy. Just two bolts here, fuel line here, the vacuum, the heat riser fell off, but I'll put that back on, and then the throttle linkage, and that's it. All right, I'll get her put back on, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, there she is. She's all installed. Got everything on, everything tight. I'm not sure if it's all, set up correctly for now, but we'll try that. And now what I'm going to do is down over here. You'll be able to see down in there, I don't think so. Now you can't see. Let me go around. Let me take you around. The fuel filter is down under here. So that's, where is it? There it is. There's the fuel filter right there. It doesn't look too old, but I ran it quite a bit through that filter. So I'm going to go ahead and change it out with this clear one you can see through. And then I think what I'm going to try to do is I can pump out. I think I can pump out some of the old fuel out of the tank with the little drill pump I have, and then that way I can try to minimize some of the nasty gas that goes into the new carburetor, because that would be the right thing to do, and not just be lazy and let it go. All right, let me get this filter changed out, and then I will come back to you when I'm ready to start. Well, when I got the filter changed out, and then when I start pumping the fuel out, I'll be right back. All right. Okay, so we got the filter in. Wasn't too bad, a little bit of pain in the butt. You know, anytime you're trying to crawl around underneath the truck and trying to find, trying to get the angle on stuff. But I got it in. My drill pump temp to drain the fuel out didn't work very good. So basically what we did is we just added a gallon of not quite as old gas to the old gas. And we're just going to run it and see how it goes. Over time, I can dilute it out, and I don't need it to run perfect. It's got basically got 2 filters in it, so it should be okay. For now, it's not ideal, not perfect. This isn't any hot rod machine. This is just a neat old truck. So we'll see how it does in this new carburetor. All right, here we go. Got the shop open, so don't gas ourselves out. I've got some 2-stroke gas here with some oil in it, so that'll help it with the dry start because it hasn't been running for a while. So I don't want to. It's just good for it. We're gonna put some in the carb. Oop, get all over the place. What I probably could do is I could probably pour it down that tube. Looks like this little brass. You can't see. Let me get it here where you can see. Said I don't know this stuff very well. I'm learning. Like I said, we're all going to learn together. My guess is I could pour it right down here. You see that right down here? It looks like it goes down in. It probably goes into the bowl right here. But we'll just let it crank. And we'll be looking down at the filter down there. See where it is. Where did the filter go? There it is. So we'll be watching that filter and see if we get any fuel pumpage. So here we go. I'll make sure it's in neutral. I'll push the clutch in. Here we go. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh, I got leakage. Yep, all right. Be back. I got to fix that leakage before we go any further. All right, here we go. Let's try again. The little line going into the filter wasn't clamped down good enough. I went ahead and replaced the little cheesy stock crimp clamps with some newer hose, just some regular hose clamps, so I can actually put a little torque on it. So let's try that again and see if it does any better. I put a little more fuel in it too, so we'll see if it'll fire. Whoa! Whoa! There we go. My board that's holding the engine cover up fell down on me. Let's see if I can get this placed back up here with one hand while I'm holding the camera. Not very easily. There we go. That'll work. Sorry about that. try it again. Let's go look at the engine. You don't need to look at me. Trying. Oh, look at that. Oh, that was a nice little purr. Definitely going to need some adjustment. Let's give it a little more fuel to help it start up a little bit quicker. I'll have to go down and check that fuel filter and see if it looks kind of orangey. But all right, let's try it again. I have to learn how to adjust these things. I'm not a carburetor guy, so it'll be nice learning. There we go. Oh, weird. It could be it's just idling too low. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, that's a good start. New carburetor on, and it's running. Not perfect, obviously. I'll have to mess with it a little bit. Watch some more YouTube videos on how to adjust this little single barrel. Obviously, I've got a little air cleaner I have to put on at some point. But that's a win. It's a little loud too. The exhaust gasket is not right. It had a donut style on it that kind of blew out. So I bought just a regular, like a flange flat gasket style, and that's not right. The studs they only have threads so long, so you just have a little flat flange gasket on there. It doesn't work. So I put the donut back in there, which is a little beat up, but I just wanted to have somewhat of a gasket so that it's not just screaming loud in here. So, all right, I'm gonna mess with this carburetor some more, and we'll be back. All right, thank you, sir. And we'll be back. All right, now that we've got the carburetor in, and it wasn't running perfect, I've done a little adjustment. Had my dad come over help me a little bit. Like I said, I'm not real experienced with carburetors. I messed with them a little bit, but not a whole lot. Little tiny motors, taking them apart, putting them back together, that kind of thing. I think I've rebuilt maybe one carburetor, but that was a while ago. So I got this one in. I had adjusted the idle speed on it based on how the other one was set, and it wasn't correct. So that wasn't really the way to go. Just put it in as is and then try it from there. On the choke, it had, where the rod comes up, it's got a little like adjustable piece and then like a little lock nut. That was too far down, so it was not letting the choke completely close, so it wasn't letting it work right. So I think I've got it now. It's probably may not perfect, maybe just a little more fine tuning, but for the most part it's pretty good. So let's fire it up here and see how it does. Give it a couple of pumps. Make sure I'm in neutral. It goes. It's not on. The choke's not working yet. There we go. Give a little tap. Choke comes on. Perfect. Okay, let's try this without it running. So what I was talking about with the choke is this piece here was like the top of this was probably way down here, so it pushed the choke way open like that, and I could never get it to close like it's supposed to. So
I'd looked at it before, but and farting around, I never came back to it. And my dad was like, "Well, this thing's holding it open," and oh, dang it! So I backed it off. I pull it all the way out, got it where it will close now, and then I just put a little bit of blue Loctite on it. And I don't know if you're supposed to maybe trim this down to where you want, because it almost looks like it's, you know, like a generic piece, and you just trim it off how you want it. Then you have this, and then like a little lock nut. And then down here, let's see if you can see it. Kind of see it doesn't really focus great. I'm not loving it, but see if you can. There we go. That's the idle speed screw there. So I had to back that off a little bit because I'd put it kind of where the other carburetor was, thinking that's where it needed to be, and it didn't run right. So anyways, there you have it. It's still not perfect.
All right, so yeah, so those two little things I adjusted, and it seems to be way better. I think it still needs some more fine tuning, maybe fuel issue because it's really, really old gas with a little bit of fresh gas. Carburetors maybe all, the spark plugs maybe all flat fouled up and nasty, dirty, or just old. I don't know how old they are. I haven't pulled them out yet. I need to do some, like I said, oil changes, some seal changes, and those will be coming up in the next video. All right, thanks. Bye. So this is the finale on #1 video for the 1963 Econoline pickup for TLT Garage USA. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope you could see okay. I hope the sound's not too messed up. The next steps will be mechanical. I got to do some seals, the pinion seal, the input shaft seal on the transmission, and the rear main seal. They all leak pretty good. I mean, it's an old Ford. I love old Fords, but they leak. Obviously I'll change the oil, and then I'll pull the spark plugs out. I almost can't say spark plugs. Derek, thanks. Look at the cap, look at the rotor. Everything works good. It should be. It's all still points. It runs great. I got the carburetor where it's running pretty good. Maybe a little more adjustment here. I've got to get an air cleaner for it. I bought a brand new 1-barrel air cleaner for it, but it doesn't fit. It's like it's too big, so I got to either make a collar or get a collar, some kind of adapter, or just order another one. They're not super expensive, but still I don't want to order a dozen of them to get the right one to fit. So that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to dedicate this video, my first video going on, well, I guess not my first, but my real first video going onto YouTube. I want to dedicate to my wife. We've been together for over 30 years. She's put up with me for a really long time. And I just want to let her know I love her and I appreciate her. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.